game earlier, like we've been hearing on the calls too. There's no way you don't draft a quarterback. You're going to lose the fandom if you don't draft a quarterback. Even if you don't believe, if there's people who don't believe in these quarterbacks, if you don't draft a quarterback, I think you don't have anybody showing up at the stadium next year. So what do you do if you draft C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young and you still have Matt Corral? Like, what do you do with Matt Corral is my question.
There's never going to be a legit competition because Matt Corral is, if we're going to have a new coaching staff, and they're going to want to go with the day draft. So you better hope.
Yes, and that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. And you are so petty, Cody. You are so petty.
You're never going to know if Matt Corral is actually better than anyone or not.
I don't care. He's not. Sorry. He's a casualty of the NFL, bro. He's a casualty.
I just said that. Did I not just say that?
No, I'm saying petty. You're petty. I go this. This is what I said. Is Tua's good?
And he goes,
3 years later. Well,
yeah, after having
generational
19 concussions and fucking 5 broken legs or whatever the hell it's been. Okay.
I'm blaming concussions on coaching for not putting the protection in front.
Can someone tell me who the greatest draft prospect in the history of draft prospects was and tell me what year he's in and if he's any fucking good? No!
Hey, Tua's on a much better team than Trevor. Much better team than Trevor.
I don't give a shit.
We had Trevor.
I don't give a shit.
Trevor's a better quarterback.
They weren't They weren't good last year, the Dolphins. So shush. They're just good this year.
What?
Stop. Stop with you and your stupid ass Trevor Lawrence D sucking, dude.
You're the one that brings him up, and you're gonna blame
because you just laughed Tua off, dude. You just said you just totally because you didn't like him. Because you didn't like him.
No, because he's more handicapped than I am. He's more handicapped than I am, and he's on his 9th concussion. Okay. Great. Hey, good for him.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
He's not on his 9th concussion. He had 2.
Oh, my bad. His 7th. Okay,
2.
I'm sorry.
2.
This season.
Yes, because he got concussed and then they didn't diagnose it. They put his ass in the next week. So it's actually just one long concussion.
Every single year. He's been hurt every single year. Every single year. You can't depend on Tua.
Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has been hurt 2 out of his 3 years.
Joe Burrow's been the same drafts. No, yeah. Joe Burrow got his ACL torn to shit, and then he went to the Super Bowl behind the worst offensive line of the NFL.
And he had his appendix removed. He's been hurt. He's been hurt. It's just, I think you're being too. Look, this is the world has been too harsh on Tua. Tua's out there getting it done.
They're 4-4 this year, man. Come on, seriously. They had a lucky run at the end of the season. Kansas City was a better team than them last year. But on any given Sunday, any team can win the game. They won that game. I guarantee you run that Kansas City game back 9 times out of 10, Kansas City wins.
What was the Dolphins' record last year? It was not.
No, what is it right now? What is it right now? What's it right now?
I think they are 6-2.
5 or 6-2 or 5-3. One of the two. Yeah.
I think they're like 3 or 4 or some shit like that.
No, they're not.
They've got a winning record. They won
5-3. All right, they're 5-3.
They're like the best team in that.
They're not the best team. They're not the best team in their own division.
What are the Bengals?
Dude, the Bills lost to the Jets today. The Dolphins are 6-3.
Lost to the Dolphins lost to the Bears.
And does that count today?
And the Dolphins also beat the Bills. What's your point? Any team can win on any given Sunday, man.
Yeah.
That's why I said the Bills.
The Dolphins beat the Bills. The Dolphins
the Bengals were not the best team in the AFC last year. The Bills and the Chiefs were better than them. They just had good circumstances in the playoffs. The same way the Giants did the year. The same way the Giants did the year they wrecked the Patriots Super Bowl. The same way the Panthers did the year that Jake Delhomme took them to the Super Bowl. They just had a good run in the playoffs.
Did y'all not see what Joe Burrow did to the Panthers today? Come on,
yes.
Dude.
No, I saw what Joe Mixon did to the Panthers today. I saw what Joe Mixon did, and the Panthers were defeated, and Burrow was just picking people off. Burrow's a good quarterback. I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback, but they were not the best team in the AFC last year. They went on a lucky run. Like I said, it happens all the time. A team goes on a lucky run, gets hot in the playoffs.
Fine, but you and Tony are talking about 2 different things. No. I'm talking if you're comparing Joe Burrow to Tua Tagovailoa, and who you would pick.
No, I'm talking about this. No, I didn't say I would pick Tua over Burrow. Yeah, so don't even try to put that in those words in my mouth. What I am saying is this: I said, hey, Tua's good. He's a draft pick that reminds you of the Bryce Young, like you're going to talk about the quarterback that doesn't do anything fantastic but does everything well. He's that guy, and they're winning with him. And here's your guy, and you go, oh, year 3. Why didn't he do it last year? Why didn't he do it the year before? And Trevor Lawrence, the next Joe fucking Elway, can't even get 130 yards passing.
Yeah, where's his Tyreek Hill? Where's his Jalen Waddle? Oh, that's right. They don't fucking have
excuses.
That's coaching and GM right there. They don't put the weapons around them.
You notice how Josh Allen was better when Stephon Diggs came to town, right? It's almost like those things are correlated. People talk shit about Cam Newton and his passer rate. We had Kelvin Benjamin and Devin Funchess.
So petty.
It's almost like those things are correlated. Okay.
So petty. So petty. So petty. So petty. Petty, petty, petty.